nice tropical tune there. Actually, on Sunday coming up, we got 3 to 5 inches of snow on the way. So just want to throw that out there. We'll all be around for this. Kristian Bush will be long gone by Sunday. He's here in the studio right now.
Sundays with a Z, people.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to be having some fun coming up very soon. We just talked a little bit off the air where you're heading next.
Yeah, I'm headed south. I'm kind of like a bird at this point. Like, keep going south till it gets warmer.
Way south. You're Cancun, right?
Yeah, well, there's a, sometimes there are people who live even further north than y'all.
Yes,
and they just can't take it. And at some point, they go to Cancun. They just like, I'm out, man. I'm hitting the button. I'm gone. And so I'm going down with Frankie Ballard and Parmalee, and we're all going to go entertain them for a week.
Very nice. Kristian Bush right here in the studio. By the way, we're streaming live online. We got the video stream going on. You can go to WQMX.com, link right up on the homepage there. You'll see where it says listen live. You can click on the YouTube icon and hook right up and see Kristian right here. Or just listen.
I see that you haven't gotten the camera yet that faces you.
No.
The U camera.
That was by request. That was by demand.
You gotta get your courage up. You got the cool headphones. You can do this.
We want people to look. We want people to watch a little bit. So,
man, I saw you on the radio and it was awesome.
Yeah, I heard that a lot. Face for radio, I've heard it my whole life. So, how you been, by the way?
I've been fantastic.
Yeah.
Things have been amazing. I'm a new artist now at the same time that I'm in a band. So it's like. At first, I thought maybe I was taking a second job, like a UPS job at night.
Okay.
But as it turns out, that's not it at all. This is really happening, and
you're doing fine. You're doing okay.
The album's going to come out on April 7th, and the single's out on the radio, and people are singing it back to me when I go places.
How about that? It's such a catchy tune.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's my job.
Yeah.
To get it stuck in your head.
You did it right.
Thank you.
I was just whistling it today, as a matter of fact.
See, I got you.
So good job there. And the album comes out again when?
It comes out April the 7th.
All right, so you got to wait a few months for that.
You got to wait a few months, but it's called Southern Gravity is the name of it. And I couldn't be more excited for people to hear this. It's really kind of a humbling, warm hug experience of fans that are new fans that, they hear me and they're like, who's that guy?
Right.
Like, I love that song. I didn't know that was you. Or they're Sugarland fans who are looking at me going, man, I love you. I know you. Wait a minute. You could sing? And so there's this kind of wonderful kind of combination, and it's fun. It's just straight up fun to like watch people look at someone they know doing something they didn't know they could do. That's cool.
And that's what you're doing right now. That's what it's all about. It's very cool stuff. Was this somewhat of a scary proposition coming out of Sugarland when or was it time to stretch your legs and see what you could do and what?
People ask me that a good bit. I think the scary part really was trying to figure out what people would think when they heard me sing. Because I'm, people that are like my kids and, people that are in my world, they're like, oh man, well, because, I was doing this. I had a whole career before Sugarland. Like Jennifer was my opening act for a long time. And so I knew who she was. But we just never really thought of it as a new discovery until now. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know who they think this is going to be when they hear it. I don't even know if they'll take me seriously. Like, I have no idea. So I think that's the real fear in the whole thing. The getting up and playing or making a record, I'm not scared of that at all. I wake up the next day and do that anyway.
It's just so many folks that do know you, and we even say Kristian Bush of Sugarland. It just goes right along with it.
You just got to, you got to do that because it's fun when you see people at the show tonight. Some of them will be there out of curiosity. Some of them will be there out of trailer hitch. Some of them will be there because, Michael's cute. All the ladies nervously laugh in the room.
There might be a couple.
There might be a couple of those. And they go through a process. They're like, wait a minute. And then once they can kind of figure out that I can sing, then they go to the next part where they're like, oh man, I kind of like this. And then pretty quickly after that, they have a question, and it's between 20 seconds and 2 minutes. They say, wait a minute, so did the band break up? You know, and it's just part of the conversation. No, the band didn't break up.
And so what's your answer, the extended answer to that? When they go, okay, band didn't break up. The next thing anyone wants to know is, okay, when are you getting back together?
Well,
They right past what you're doing now, and you go, wait a
Absolutely.
second, let me do this for a little bit, and let me show you what I can do. But you know, it's
a great thing, though. I mean, I love our band. It's a wonderful band.
Mm-hmm.
And Jennifer had a lot of plans that she wanted to make sure she achieved. You know, she's a Virgo, so you got to get it done, right? And a baby was on the list, and husband was on the list, and well, I guess husband and then baby.
Right.
And then she wanted to be on Broadway. She wanted to put out a solo record. She had a lot to do. And, you know, I've been on a record label for 20 years now.
Wow.
And different labels at different times with different acts.
You got signed when you were 8 years old. That's
I got signed when I was 8, which was a
amazing.
really big deal. It was way before its time. It was like a Michael Jackson thing. But I've been doing this for half my life, and it is the most fun thing I've ever done. And I can't imagine waking up and not doing it again. I just couldn't wait. I went through a process. I wrote about 10 times as many songs as I normally write. I usually write about 12 or 15 for a record, and we make it into a Sugarland record. And I wrote almost 300 songs for this.
Wow, that's
in about 2 years.
That's tough to whittle down.
It was strange. I felt like something wrong was happening. I felt like I had a disease or something. And my poor kids, they were like, Dad, you know, we thought you were going to spend the summer with us, but you know, you can put your guitar down now.
Yeah. So you're on hiatus of this super duo, and now you're working even more than before. Right?
Absolutely.
That's not supposed to happen.
It's not. And now you can understand why it's both confusing and compelling, and why it feels like something bigger than me, and why I'm even here.
Do you feel more pressure on this since it's solo? Because, you know, on anything else, you can kind of go, well, it's a shared thing if something works great or doesn't. But now this is your name. This is Kristian Bush, right?
So it's my problems if it goes wrong.
Exactly.
And
this is all your fault now.
You know, it's not that. I don't think it's that cut and dry. It's the kind of thing where I do feel the pressure of singing. I feel the pressure of you know, coming by and visiting everybody, but I love doing this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of not pressure. I think the only pressure I have really is trying to deliver a great album and a great show for fans that already expect a certain level. You know, there's I always tell people it's harder to write a happy song than it is a sad one. And the reason that it's harder is because we don't really take those that seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the sad ones, boy, we can all connect on heartbreak or loss or things like that. But it's really difficult because everybody wants to connect on something good.
Right.
But you don't ever get that opportunity, you know, unless you're in a situation where you're listening to Stuck Like Glue or All I Want to Do, things like this, where it's a celebration. Things are supposed to be better for the next 3 minutes.
That's interesting. It is, when you think about it, it would be tougher I think, because everyone can kind of with a sad song, we can all be on the same type of, we've been there, we've done that.
Yeah.
Everyone has their different form of happiness.
You got your own.
There's a million different ways you can be happy. There's a handful of ways that we've all experienced that deep sadness. So maybe that it's easier to connect with the sadness, but the happiness, like, hey, that's a song about what I love to do, and people go, I don't love to do that. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But if I can make you dance, everybody dances to the same beat. So that's where my jam is.
Right.
That's where, when you listen to Trailer Hitch, like, I just want a complete stranger to be bouncing like next to you when you're at the stoplight and you look at their head and they're looking at have you ever done that? They're on the same station you are and you don't realize it till you're at the stoplight and you're like,
they're going,
oh, look, you're in it. You're in the same
song over here. Yeah.
That's what I hope.
Well, Trailer Hitch does that for sure. It's such a fun song. And you, where did it come from?
Trailer Hitch is, you know, if you hadn't heard the song yet out there in the radio sphere land, internet,
they better have.
If you have, yeah,
kind of
you know, the phrase is, I've never seen a hearse with a trailer hitch,
right,
which is a colloquialism or a southernism, like, you know, nervous as in church, you know,
right.
And it's supposed to be funny, but also true. And it was just a saying, one of the co-writer and my brother Tim Tim and my brother that we were riding with, he goes, "Hey, Kristian, you know, I've never seen a hearse with a trailer hitch." And it was just another Southern funny thing somebody said. I said, "Oh my God, that would be a great song." And they were like, "Oh yeah, whatever. We won't write that because that's too happy." And I'm like, "That's my jam. Give it to me. Let me try." So that's what happened. And I couldn't be more thrilled.
And it's such a cool message. But you know what? I think it's one of those things where sometimes you got to be just a little older, a little more mature to understand the message of it. Because as a kid, a younger person, I would go, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" No, the whole thing is he who dies with the most toys wins. You know, it's that whole thing. And when I was a younger person, I'd watch a movie, and at the end, when the person would give up the
Writer to not bother you with 3 minutes that don't make it better.
Right. Well, awesome. Well, you're doing fantastic here. And do you talk to Jennifer much?
All the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you?
Well, she's now in rehearsals,
Doing the big Broadway stuff.
doing Broadway stuff, and so it's like Dancing with the Stars time.
Yeah.
It's like dance, 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 dance. But she's new mom, and that's exciting. I can't imagine. My kids are much older, and I can't.
When they're
imagine.
done that, you're to the next level going on.
And the video game, I'm a little further up. And but it doesn't make it any easier. It gets faster, and when they get into the middle school,
yeah, there's always something else going on for sure. Well, hey, you want to sing something for us right now?
I would be happy to sing something for you.
What are you gonna do?
Benji's looking at me. I'm gonna do a song. I finally wrote a drinking song.
Okay.
So this is a big deal because I don't know how I won so many awards and didn't have a drinking song in country music. There should have been a problem. Like I should have been penalized.
They didn't kick you out of country music years ago.
Exactly.
You slipped through the cracks somehow.
Right. Hats and boots, just not the ones you know. So this song is my first drinking song, and the reason it's kind of taken me so long is that I don't drink much.
Okay. So you're just catching up?
I mean, I don't drink often, or I don't get drunk often.
Okay.
But
when you do,
but I have been overserved before.
And if that's what it is, it's
you're
overserved.
Just sitting there at the bar, and it just happens to you.
Not your fault.
You just, it wasn't your fault at all.
All right.
So not that this ever happened to anybody out there, but if it has, then this is your song.
All right.
And it's dedicated to people that it is now covered in snow outside, so you deserve this song.
Okay, here we go.
I ran into a wall of liquor tonight. Really need a cab and there ain't one in sight. I'm stumbling and fumbling and falling all over myself. I wish this old sidewalk would just stand still long enough to get me back to my hotel. I'm starting to think maybe I could use some help. Just trying to stay on top of my flip-flops, just until this whole world stops spinning. People at the bar all laugh when I pass. They're laying down bets that I'll bust my ass. It looks like a mile, but I only gotta make it one more block. Just trying to stay on top of my flip-flops. Just did a little Fred Astaire around the last street sign. I think I might have kissed a palm tree and asked it to be mine. Here I come, ready or not. Even Jagger wishes he had the moves that I got. Once I get going, yeah, it feels like I just can't stop. Just trying to stay on top of my flip-flops. Just until this whole world stops spinning, spinning. People at the bar all laugh when I pass. They laying down bets that I'll bust my ass. It looks like a mile, but I only gotta make it one more block. It's a balancing act, just trying to stay on top of my flip-flops. Just trying to stay on top of my flip-flops. Walk responsibly.
The name of that was on top of my flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops, okay. Which is, I mean, there's all kinds of things you can put in there, but I think we've all been there before because flip-flops are hard enough to keep on. When you're just
I just couldn't help it. Whenever we started writing that song, I was like, hey, you know, like, I know we're writing the song, but I don't drink much. And they were like, well, you're going to need to access a point where you do. And so I thought back to it and I was like, well, you know, I couldn't stay upright there all. And I wrote that with Paul Overstreet, who's a big old super a songwriter. And we just had the best time ever. I think I became his spirit animal at that moment. He's just like, we wrote 4 songs that day.
Is that right? It
was in like 2 hours. It was awesome.
Awesome. That is. Flip-flops right there. Is that on the
It's on the new record. Oh yeah.
All right. And so how many tracks are on it?
There are 12 tracks on it.
All right.
And then the other, 380 however many, are sitting
floating around
out in the world. You can dig around right now if you're trying to figure out what it's going to sound like. You can get online, and there's enough people that have video cameras in their radio stations that have been recording this stuff as it goes
We're
by.
one of them.
We're one of them. There you go. You got your flip-flops now.
How do you whittle down 12 songs out of 300 plus? I mean, it's hard. Is that mostly you, or is that it's a group effort, or how? I mean, what is that?
I've been one of those strange acts through life. All my record deals have had the same pieces to them, and one of them is that no one has ever told me what to put on a record. So whether it's a Sugarland record or Billy Pilgrim stuff, I had to pick them all. So
it's gotta be
it's a huge amount of pressure. And usually the pressure is just getting it from 18 to 10 or 12. But this time it was Herculean. And what I started to do is drive around and play them for my kids. Because my kids are 9 and 12, right? And I would drive carpool in the morning, just like anybody else. And they would tell me if it was terrible. They'd be like, Dad, that one.
I was just going to say, that'd be the most honest audience you could ever have.
Oh my gosh. And they would do number systems like it was the Olympics or something. And it would be like, Dad, that beat is like an 8, but the lyrics are like a 4. I was like, oh no.
And the argument with the kids going, oh, come on now. You'd had a different opinion about it, and they're trashing the thing.
It was interesting, and especially get a kid to love a ballad, slow song. They don't like that. And and so they ended up being such a really integral part of this album because they watched me build it. I think it's the first one they'll remember.
Oh yeah,
watching me build, because the last one, the Incredible Machine one, I built in the basement while they were.
And they were really very young.
Well, they're 5 and 8 or something like that.
Yeah, you don't remember a whole lot then at that point. And then if you're away from them and they're not such a part of it.
Right. Well, and it's also kind of weird. I'm sure that your parents do whatever your parents do. You're like, oh yeah, my dad's a DJ.
Yeah, he's off to work.
Yeah, and it's to them, it's not special, but to like their friends, they're like, dude, your dad's DJ. man, I saw your dad on television. You know, but to them, it's just what they do. Like my dad was like, oh, your dad, you know, was at a cannery. Yeah. And they thought that was cool. He worked in a factory. And I was like, yeah, but his dad.
Exactly. So the kids, big part in getting the 12 tracks on there. Can't wait to hear the whole thing, but we got to wait till April. Sort of, I guess.
You know, you could come down to the Dusty Armadillo and then you could pull out your phone.
Hear them right there, live,
hear them right there
on stage. By the way, I want to say a huge thanks to you for doing for helping us out with this charity show, benefiting Neopat, which is the Northeast Ohio Foundation for Patriotism, and they do outstanding work for military personnel, families, veterans. I mean, the whole gamut.
That's awesome. That's totally my jam too.
Yeah.
I'm the firstborn male in my family not to be in the armed services.
Is that right?
Yes, my father was, my grandfather was in World War II, dad was in Korea.
They do such fantastic stuff for us, and Neopat gives a lot back to them. We've had a good relationship with such a fantastic relationship with this charity. And then, of course, on the other side, this is 2 charities we're helping out tonight.
Well, you know, why spend your time with one when you can do 2?
Do 2. Pay it forward for pets. So we got the pets.
And Puppy Bowl.
We got the pets, it's like pets and the pets. We got
yes. And it rhymes, of course. Yeah. You guys are smart.
You know what? I think I just saw that now, and it's the 11th hour, and we could have been saying this. You
could have been just saying vets and pets.
We could have, but we didn't do that.
And except that would somehow translate to like me and Michael Ray, and he's going to be the pet, and I'd probably be the vet.
Okay.
See, I just said it because y'all wouldn't. The girls over here are like, did he just say that?
But here's the greatest thing: it's $10 to get in tonight.
It's awesome.
So doors open at 6. Come out there, put $10 in. It goes to both charities, and then you'll see show starting at 8 o'clock. Michael Ray on stage at 8. You're on right afterwards, and it's gonna be fun tonight.
Please come down, and thank you so much for playing my music and all of it. Sugarland, my own stuff, all of it.
Thanks for making it. You gonna hang out and talk with anybody tonight and do some signings? And,
we'll be around.
All right, cool.
We'll be around. I'm here to say hi.
All right. So you've already established. Don't ask when Sugarland's getting back together, everybody. But you know they will.
As soon as we will. But we totally will.
With Sarah is your most giant Sugarland fan.
But I'm a fan of Kristian as well.
Yeah. So he's part of Sugarland. It's all the whole thing. And I razz her sometimes. And then,
you do?
Oh, yeah, of course I do.
How does he pick on you?
Well, look at her first of all, and you look at her headgear going on right now.
What? Look, I'm a fan of headgear. Like a man style is not something to be afraid of, people.
Of course not.
Neither is headgear.
Neither is headgear. Things you wear on your head, fine.
Wait till you see this tonight. In fact, if it's worth the $10 just to come see Sarah's. Well, you can see
Sarah
it online
here.
right now,
Get online. Here, look at this. Oh my gosh! And then might I point out the
well, this is my ode to
dessert dress
Sugarland with the cupcakes.
The cupcakes. So there's a lady who cuts my hair in Atlanta. Because I don't know where to go. So I just go to the place in the corner, and she has an entire sleeve of tattoos of desserts.
Oh,
really?
And it's the coolest thing I've ever seen and weirdest thing, and I love it. Like I have a hard time not just staring at her arm. She's cutting my hair. Well, you know, you get your hair cut, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Sarah's always a theme of some sort going on.
This is my Sugarland.
This is your Sugarland.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're good.
Thanks.
It's awesome.
Okay.
But I always tease her about like, oh, I don't think they're getting back. Just to make her cry a little bit. That's all I do.
It works every time.
And she says, no. I heard and this and that. So
I have people that tell me things. I have no idea.
You know what's fun? If you come to the show tonight, I play some Sugarland songs.
I know.
And you get to hear them kind of the way that they were when we wrote them. And it's a different way to hear the same music,
right?
You know, and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know about that part. You didn't hear the male version of Baby Girl, and you're like, wow, I didn't get, now I get it.
See, there's so many reasons to come out tonight. So there are still tickets available at the door, $10. You can't beat it. Michael Ray on stage at 8. Kristian Bush right afterwards. I can't wait. This is gonna be fun tonight.
It's gonna be fun.
So fun. And the single off of the album, which is out in April. What name of the album again?
The name of the album is called Southern Gravity.
Southern Gravity will be out in April. This is the first single. Trailer Hitch right here. Kristian Bush, thanks so much for coming by, and we'll see you tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right, here it is on Your Country, 94.9 WQMX.